Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. This video is long overdue, so it's just about time that I should do it. So if you haven't bought RSMfmx yet, you can continue watching this video to see, how it works and what it does and what features it offers. If you have bought RSMfmx, you can also continue watching to learn more about the features and so on. So after you download it, you're only going to get like 4 files. You're going to get the RSMfmx.exe, updater, hardware ID, DLL, and the autoupdate.exe. If you open it for the first time, it's going to unpack itself and it's going to ask you for a license key and possibly an update. Just click update or enter your license key. Now, if that's all done, you should be prompted with this. Now, the thing I get asked most about for first customers is what is this attempting to the server config, this connecting to the server based on the Archon config. This is the automatic Archon connection between RSM and your Rust server. Just ignore this. If RSM is connected to your server, it will, this will disappear, and whatever's underneath you can see, and all other features will be available. So first of all, this is the server installer. This is the category tab. We're gonna go to the server installer because I have slow internet and I need to start the installation of the server while we are going through each feature. So server branch, main, staging. I'm gonna choose main, validate server files, or install /update server. We're going to go ahead and install this. This will open CMD, running the automatic installer. In the older videos, you will have noticed that there's a progress bar and, the logs are inside of here. However, a recent, or not recent anymore, but a Steam CMD update broke the pipeline connection between, basically it broke the thingy that I can't get the output from Steam CMD anymore because of that update. So anyway, let's just go back to the server config tab. Also just click allow access when it asks you for firewall. Just waiting for this. While this is installing, let's just continue. So server host name, this is your server name on the server list. You can also hover over certain features to see what they do. So description, you can just edit, this is my awesome server, rules are as follows, be respectful, and so on, and if you click set, it's gonna automatically add \n. For those of you who don't know what \n does, it's Unity's way, meaning the game engine, of creating a new line. So, saying this is just defining a new line, and then a new line. It's like an enter. RSM does that for you. Server URL, that is the button, the website button on your, on the server list, basically. Server banner, basically, the banner image on the server list as well. Server seed, this is, the seed only works for procedural and barren. You'll see if you change different maps, that'll disappear. Same goes for the world size. This is, server seed is basically how your world looks like. World size is pretty much self-explanatory. It defines how big your world is. Normal people or normal servers run it at 3,000 to 4,000. Max players, self-explanatory, 50 max. I'm just gonna make it 10. If you change something, just remember click save config as well. Server IP. Now, a lot of people get confused at what this does. Is they think if you're new to making servers or new to all this in general, people think that this will, change your own IP, the IP your server connects to. So it's not that. So what this does is it basically, let's say you have a VPS from OVH or something, right? Now, hosts have multiple IP addresses. You can buy extra or you can rent extra IP addresses. So what they do is you have multiple IP addresses, but you only want your server to run on one of those IP addresses that's assigned to you. So then you choose that IP address that is assigned to you. If it's not assigned to you, then it won't work. Your server I don't think your server will boot, I'm not sure. However, if it's set to not, it means that it will basically bind to all of those IP addresses. Server port. This is the port that the server itself will run on. Server save interval, this is in seconds. So I think 300 seconds is 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes the server will save, you know, all progress made to it, you know, via players and so on. Archon IP is pretty much the same as the server IP. This binds to all IP addresses, you know, because this is a WebSocket connection. Yeah, it's a different protocol as well. Archon port, different. It has to be a different port than the server port. If it's on the same port, they're just gonna clash, and one of them isn't gonna work, or your server is just not gonna boot. Archon password. There's the Archon password RSM generates for you. Each instance of RSM has a, you know, if you just open it for the first time, it'll have a differently generated password at a different length as well. So as you can see, it's different. It's just for, you know, protection, because a lot of people tend not to change it. So I'm just gonna, this is your server map. I'm just gonna go ahead and change to Craggy Island. Now Craggy Island is basically a test map. You know, you can test stuff on. Custom map. If you want to use a custom map, you can just paste the URL in here and click on this, you know, activate the custom map. However, we're going to take a server map and Craggy Island as the test map. So if you click save server config, that's going to save the config. Also, if you want, you know, certain stuff to be in the start.bat file, you know, like radiation, I think it was server.radiation false or something. Server.radiation false. We click the plus and click save. It's going to be in the start.bat if your server starts up. Want to delete it, right click, delete selected. Okay, now that's done. Server installer, let's actually go through this. This is just the log, you know. It generates an install.bat, so in case you don't have access to RSM and you want to update your server, just, you know, double click on install.bat and your server will update. If you want to verify your server files or uninstall umod, you just click validate server files. Or if you want to update your server, click update install /update. Just note, if you do validate or update your server, you will need to reinstall umod if you want your server to still be modded. So this is the umod oxide mod. You know, they kept saying they're going to move to umod, however it's been a while. I don't know what they're doing now. Anyway, umod allows RSM has full umod support basically, so you can change all of your umod, you know, configuration and plugins and stuff within RSM itself, even install it. However, the server is still installing, so I'm not gonna click install update now, otherwise I'm scared it's gonna clash. So let's go through each of the umod configuration options. So modded. You know on the server list how the server says modded and community? Now, if you install umod by default, the server will automatically show in the modded list. But let's say it's a vanilla server, but you're only using mods for admins, you know? You only have admin mods to check on cheaters, you know, catch cheaters, check on players, and so on. Then you can just disable this and it will show in the community tab. Remember to click save config as well. However, I want to show in the modded because it's gonna have game-changing mechanics. If it has game-changing mechanics like, you know, a plugin, let's say gather manager that changes the gather rate, you know, anything that changes the gameplay itself, should be in modded only. If you have game-changing plugins, and your server is shown in the community tab, there's a pretty big chance that your server is going to get blacklisted from showing on a server list, and they're going to blacklist your IP address. So just only use admin only plugins on the community tab, and if you want game-changing stuff, only use that on modded. Plugin watchers, basically if you know, if a plugin had changes made to it, or you know, one is copied or deleted from the folder, umod, meaning umod itself inside the server, would automatically reload, unload, you know, that plugin, or load it. Default groups. Now, umod works with a permission system, basically, you know, allowing in groups, you know, like ranks, basically. Think of it like ranks. You know, You have the employee, you have your manager, you have your boss, you know, your CEO and so on. But think of this as like this. Admins, all admins, meaning everyone from off level 2 and up, is set in the admin group by default. And players has the group called default, meaning if you just joined, you're fresh new player, you're gonna automatically put in the group default. Umod, Oxide mod, Archon. I'm not gonna go through this. I only added it because you know, it's a Umod feature. It's not a recommended feature because Umod provides a Archon for games that don't have an Archon. Rust has an Archon. If you enable this is gonna override the Rust Archon, and RSM is not gonna work. It's not gonna work like it should. So just ignore this whole Umod Archon thing. Okay, don't enable this. So admins are in default group admins, and players are in default group called default. Loaded plugins, server isn't started. This will not work, but I see your server is finished installing now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click install, and this will start to download Umod and install it. However, I have slow internet, so you know, just let this finish. Also, let's say a Umod update is available, RSM will notify you as well as for server updates. You know, you'll get like a message here in the message panel. Okay, installation is done. Just keep in mind also, if you update your server, just know that basically what do you call it? Umod it takes a while for them to update Umod as well. So if you update your server as soon as the update comes out and you update Umod, there's a big chance that the server's either not gonna boot, or it's gonna be buggy, or you're gonna have spam in your console. We're gonna go to the player manager next. Online players, you can view their Steam ID if they're on a shared account, the owner's Steam ID, display name, ping, address. I don't know why the bar is not showing here. It should show, you know, like a scroll bar. I'll fix that. So ping address, the IP address, meaning connection time. This automatically formats between, you know, from seconds to minutes to hours to days and so on. However, I don't think anyone's going to be active for more than a day. Health, their current health, their country of origin, and rust hours. Keep note, for the rust hours to work, you are going to have to add your Steam API key. You can just click get and it'll show you how to get it. Also, this is the themes section of RSM. If you want to, you know, go classic RSM, you can just click there and click close. And there's the classic RSM theme. A lot of people seem to like this still. So if we go over to console, RSM has a built-in Archon into it. This is what basically this is. I think it'll be better if I start the server, so I'm gonna go to start server. Let's go over affinity real quick. The affinity option is basically what core you want, how many cores you want it to run on. This is just this to affinity enabled. And CPU socket. Let's say you have more than one CPU installed. Like I've met like one guy that has that and he requested this feature, so I added it. CPU 0 is equal to CPU 1. You know, programming, everything starts at 0. So 0 is actually 1 and 1 is actually 2. So leave that at 0 if you don't know what this is. Hex value, pretty easy to calculate for affinity, the cores. So if I'm just quickly gonna go ahead and open the calculator. Calculator's open, you're gonna go to programmer and you're gonna go to the bit toggling keyboard. Now, I'm assuming that all of your systems are 64-bit. I haven't seen a 32-bit system in a long time. So here's your, you know, programmer calculator. You want to click on hex, the bit toggle thingy. So everything starts at 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Rust only uses about 3 cores max. So Windows uses core 0. We want Rust to run on core 1, 2, and 3. So this is basically, actually that's actually core 1. So it says 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 2, 3, and 4. Or if, for example, let's say you want it to run on core 4. Okay, yeah, this is core 4. I'm calculating this off right now. Anyway, if you want to adjust the cores basically here, so this is core 0, this is core 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ignore these numbers. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm only gonna let it run on core 2, 4, and 5. And there's your hex value, 1A. So I'll just change this to 1A. As I said, ignore the CPU socket priority. You know, pretty much self-explanatory. The priority, you want it to run above normal. I'm just going to choose normal default. Auto restart after crash. So if the server crashes or you type quitting console, it's going to automatically restart after 30 seconds if you don't close the window. Auto update. RSM provides the ability to automatically update your server and UMod. However, it's not real. It's an experimental feature because it's a bit hard to test for obvious reasons. If you choose to wait for the UMod update, RSM will wait for a UMod update before actually restarting your server, you know, just so you're sure there's no actual downtime really then. However, I'm not going to enable that this time. If you click start server, there's going to start countdown timer. Actually, before we do this, yes, let's terminate this. We're going to open CMD. So you want to change properties to use the legacy console, and that will fix your console. You know, it's gonna if that isn't enabled, your console is gonna be a mess. You know, it's just gonna duplicate everything everywhere and so on, because for some reason either Unity or CMD itself doesn't handle the wait command on the start.bat the same way as the new console does. So if we go ahead and check, hold on. So if we go ahead and check, there's the stuff basically. Here's your start.bat is generated. The thing is, it doesn't wait for this. This is what's causing the duplication. Anyway, while this is running, click allow, and as you can see, WebSocket Argon started and RSM started connecting to it. And your server console is now getting broadcasted to RSM as well. Now, a lot of people are also confused as couldn't load server Cragala blah 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 file doesn't exist. That just means the save couldn't be loaded, so one will be created. So if you chat, you know, chat will be logged to here, connections will be logged, disconnections will be logged. Oops. Where was I? Oh, I was here. Disconnections will be logged. Discord. You can enter a Discord webhook URL and it will log into that Discord webhook as well. Players, online players, we're doing through this. Bans. Your bans will show on you. You can unban people, list friends in server, permissions manager. Yes, RSM has a permissions manager. Player database. RSM has a player database for offline use. You can ban them, manage their permissions, list their friends currently playing in the server. Then you already went through this. Then you get the plugin manager. I should actually make it default over here. So this will allow you to install, edit, delete, disable plugins and configs and whatever. You know, I want to install, let's say, gather manager. If I can type manager, there we go. Click on it, install plugin. Now, before you install a plugin, it's recommended to view the plugin so you can actually read the documentation on it. And as you can see, you mod loaded it. Plugin updater, RSM has a plugin updater as well. That's up to date, of course. Plugins folder. I don't like this theme really. I like the blue one. So anyway, you can edit your plugins or whatever, and double click on a plugin for more options. If you double click it, you can edit it, disable it, delete, cancel. For example, if we disable this, it's gonna unload it. If we enable this, it's gonna load it. Configs, here's the config editor in RSM built into it. You can edit your server configs or whatever. So if we change this to a 2, for example, and click save, Also reload plugin on save, so if you click save, it should automatically reload your plugin as well. Data folder, no plugins with data currently, but you can edit the data files for whatever reason. And then automation, chat monitor, you can either use regex or whatever. You can kick or ban them if they say something stupid, whatever you don't want them to say. If you want to censor you or peeps, do it. That's basically the category options. I'm working on a timed commands. This will replace timed execute. So your server did that refresh. Just a quick refresh for online players or bans. File, open folder, quick folder access, open message panel. Messages will be shown here, if it needs your attention. Tutorials. This video is gonna be here, UMod Oxide permission system. I'll add more links. 10 tools. You have the wipe manager, which will allow you to add files to the files to delete, basically. So if you want to quick wipe something, add, and as soon as you click delete, these files couldn't delete. Oh yeah, because it's active in the server probably, so it's not gonna let you delete that. It's also not going to remove the files from the list because it's easier to quickly delete the files like this. Just delete all. You can also, what you can do is you can right click and remove from list to remove specific files if you don't want them to be deleted anymore. Tools, port checker. I'm not going to open that, but basically it's a quick way to check if your ports are open or not. It doesn't work for everyone, but it works for the majority of people. Anyway. This has been RSMfmx. Updates are going to slow down a bit on this because I'm busy making a Linux version. Yes, Linux is planned as well. I'm trying to figure out a new way, or not figuring out, I know how to do it. It's just going to take a lot more work and time. But my idea was to basically have RSM as a CMD little server running alongside your server, like a little command prompt thingy. And then have a GUI which is multi-platform, meaning Mac OS, Windows, Linux, whatever. And you can remotely control it on your phone, Android, whatever platform you want. So it's like an easier, it's like a web control panel, except you get a lot more options or stuff to do. But this has been RSMfmx. If you like the video, you know what to do. Click like. If you want to buy it, link will be down in the description. Also, I ask that you join our Discord server. If you're a customer and need instant support, Discord is always the best way. Also, keep in mind that I am in a different time zone than most people. Americans. Talking about the Westerns people watching this now. So if you do end up buying RSM, everything should be automated. However, there are cases where the email doesn't get through to you. If you haven't gotten the email, just wait until I wake up, please. I'm using SAST time, South African Standard Time, or GMT +2. Just check what time it is for me. Anyway, have a good one.